had the best guacamole of my life. So I took it to go. And I was walking, and this homeless man who was like borderline terrifying was like, "Can I have your leftovers?" And I didn't know what to do, so I was just like, "It's just a box of guacamole. Like, do you like guacamole?" And he was like, "Yeah." And it wasn't a good deed. I'm not bragging about being a good person. I'm saying I miss my guacamole, and I wish I never gave it to the homeless man. I'm not a good person.
Now we got that already. Still no reason to cry about it. Go buy yourself some other guacamole. But hey, what's up everyone? And by that I mean the good people. I do hope you're gonna enjoy the video, so let's get into it.
Sweet mother of God, here we go again.
I do not accept a coffee or a walk as a possible date option, and neither should you. First of all, I'm not a dog that needs to be walked. Second, I have an espresso machine at home, works fabulous. We're not doing drinks either. You're gonna try to get me drunk and take me back home. No. We are doing dinner. You're gonna pick me up. We're gonna come to the restaurant. We're gonna see your table manners. We're gonna see what you order. We're gonna see, do you hold your chopsticks correctly? We're just gonna, study you a bit. Okay, so dinner it is.
So dinner, it's not. Believe me, ma'am, we've been studying you way longer than you've been studying us. Because we've already looked at the laundry list of things that you have on your dating page. We've already seen that we have to love your dog more than we love you. We see that you post more pictures of your dog than you do yourself. We're trying to see if you have any pictures that is just more than just your face. And if we do externally see you as beautiful, then yes, we are going to ask you out on a coffee date. Why? Because we want to see if you're even worth our time. Why would I go out and pay $100 to $200 on someone that I don't even know is emotionally stable, that isn't codependent on every single male on the planet, that doesn't harbor so much emotional damage from the previous relationship that it's about to implode like a tsunami all over our life, that doesn't secretly have children you don't want us to know about, or an ex that is horrifically ruining your life? Let me tell you, coffee and a walk, that's the best you're gonna get. If you think your espresso is better than having a young man ask you out and take you on a date with a nice walk, that's fine. You're gonna be sitting in the danger zone between 27 and 35, wonder why you're still single with all your bikini Instagram pics, crying yourself a river every single night with your 6 cats because you couldn't go out for a coffee and a walk. Believe me, we're studying you.
I was already good with dinner, it's not. Not for no other reason except you feel entitled to that. I hear a lot how your time, your money, your effort, your energy is important and mine is not. If that's what you really think, then you're not even getting a coffee. And speaking of her danger zone, that's exactly where she is now.
Men hate women, and when are you guys going to realize that?
This is it. This is the thing that I could not put my finger on when I moved, when I left the United States and went to Italy to date. I did that because I love Italian culture. I love the food. I love how it's slower. I love how it's more romantic. I just identify with Italian culture more, and I noticed Italian men treating me differently than American men. And this is it. Italian men love women. They love and care for women. And no, I don't mean Italian American men. I don't mean Italians who have come to the US and have been Americanized. I mean Italian men. And they love women. Yes, they might love more than one woman at once. They might lie. They might do lots of things that men do because they're men and they have faults. But they love women. And I know somebody's going to jump in here and be like, well, American women, they ruined American men because they're so masculine and they're so dominant and and they won't be submissive. Have you met Italian women? First of all, Italian culture is matriarchal. Second of all, Italian women are bold and not at all submissive. Italian women run the show, and Italian men love and care for and respect Italian women. It is so vastly different from American culture, where American men generally, culturally, hate women. I also, by the way, think this is more evidence that human beings were meant to be matriarchal by the simple fact that Italian culture is matriarchal.
You said that 3 times already, and I'm not even sure anymore if you're trying to convince me or yourself. And just in case, I'm not gonna take your word for it, because I usually don't listen to the trust me bro moments. Care to explain to all of us how? I know the internet is not always the best place to go look for answers, but it's my biggest source. And my biggest source apparently contradicts with every single point you've made, maybe except for this one. Many mothers in Italy embrace their matriarchal roles in creating a loving, stable home for their children and maintain traditions that revolve around culture, religion, and food. If your argument was anything different, then you're wrong. And I love it how you gave the Italian men a pass for exactly the same reason you're gonna call American men toxic. They lie, they cheat, they love multiple women. I guess that's all fine as long as you're one of those multiple women.
Men are going to vote away our right to birth control and abortion because when we have the ability to control when and if we become pregnant, fewer losers get to become fathers. They have a phrase for this, gatekeeping pregnancy, which means women trying to not get pregnant by a man until she finds one that is worth being a parent with. Gatekeeping pregnancy. I can't get over how embarrassing that is to say out loud. Not saying it's all men, but there are many, many men who are starting to realize if people who can get pregnant have complete intentional control over when they get pregnant and who they get pregnant by, they will not be chosen. Like, they're listening to the way that women are starting to talk about motherhood and that, like, I don't want to do it unless I have someone who's going to share the work with me, who's going to be a present father, who I want to replicate this man in another human being. They see that and they're like, yeah, I think we should just go back to when you guys couldn't ask for those things. Like I say, men control our reproduction because if we actually controlled reproduction, we would control everything. And the men in my comments are like, no, that's not true. And then they comment shit like this, like,
keep your legs closed or swallow when you're supposed to. There, you just control reproduction. If you don't want losers to become fathers, don't sleep with them. Last I checked, it takes 2 to tango, not just 1.
I went on a date a few months ago with a woman that was a self-proclaimed feminist. Nothing wrong with that. I knew before the date. The only weird thing was that about 9 times during the date, she reminded me she was. Do you know how often you have to repeat things in order for people to start counting? Here's the thing. If you actually are something like a nice guy or a feminist, you don't have to tell us. We'll just know. If you're a feminist, we'll know. If you're a nice guy, we'll know. If you're a vegan, shut up. No one cares. That wasn't the strange part of the date. That strange part came at the end when she asked if we wanted to go on a second date. I said, sure. How about next Saturday? She said, I'm busy Saturday. I was like, oh, what are you doing? She's like, oh, I'm meeting up with one of my other guys that day. And I'm like, other guys? Now, I figured that what she was referring to is that she was dating around. I was doing the same thing. Most of us do that when we're dating. However, she proceeded to explain to me that she was in a polyamorous relationship, which is just a fancy way of saying that you sleep around. Now, if that's what you want to do, that's fine, but younger generations have a tendency to put flowery language on age-old behaviors in order to make it sound better. Even your grandparents had a saying for that. It was just called swinging. Now, if that's your thing, more power to you. It's not my thing. I consider myself a team player, but that's only if I'm the head coach. Nobody wants to be a third-string rookie that they bring in when all the other guys are just tired. Now, this is where things got weird. She saw my reaction and got a little upset. She's like, oh, I see how it is. You were actually intimidated by a strong feminist. Darling, that word does not mean what you think it means. So if you want to live that lifestyle, you do you, boo. It's your choice. But just so you know, there's nothing new age about that at all. All right, there's a group of individuals been acting like that for quite a while. They're called guys. All right, so when you hop from bed to bed and act like you're empowered, you're really just kind of acting like a man, the person that you normally are pretty angry at. So just so you know, equality isn't all about benefits. There's a lot of drawbacks. So you will be looked down upon just like men that sleep around are looked down upon. So welcome to equality. Pretty much sucks here for all of us. And think about it, ladies, if you went on a date with a guy that openly admitted, oh yeah, I'm banging like 5 different chicks right now because I'm strong and empowered, something tells me that guy wouldn't get a second date. So if you think it actually is empowered to tell people that shit, you cannot be surprised when that person leaves in the middle of the date and leaves you with a check. I did. Now that's some true equality.
It will take a lot for me to live and live with a chick, but regardless, you're a better man than I am, or ever will be. I will never be caught asking one of them on a date because I don't have to. About 3 years ago, I asked my girl if she's a feminist. She said, yeah. I said, why? She said, because equality and all that. I said, which type are you? She said, what do you mean? I told her what that term means in 2023. She said, oh, look at that. I guess I'm not a feminist after all. But you date whoever you want.
Listen, no offense. I was just talking to a woman, and she was bragging. She was bragging, okay? And she was just saying how she's not soft. She's, like, hard, you know? And, like, she's not like other girls, you know? She's independent. I was like, this is great. Like, so far, so good. That's wonderful. And then she was like, yeah, like, I have a job, you know? I said no offense. I said no offense. I have a job. You know, I've been living on my own for a while. I take care of myself. She was like, I literally got my couch all by myself. Bought my couch. And I was like, wow. I'm sorry. I was like, okay. what I wanted to say was like, yeah, me too, you know? Like, yeah, we really out here just, like, I thought she was, I mean, that's great. Like, you an adult. That's awesome. Like, I'm so proud of you. Seriously, like, and I'm not saying all that's not hard. However, like, you know, I thought it was going to be like a little bit more. Like, that was, that was it. Like, I thought, you know, I don't know. Like, I just thought it was going to be a little bit more. And I looked stupid because I was just sitting there like, oh yeah, wow, good job, well done. But like, that was it. So, yeah. Again, that's good for you. Good for you.
Yeah, I mean, a couch that she paid for. Wow. Yeah, I'm just gonna end the video here because everything after that would be pointless. Once again, thank you all so much for watching. Have a great weekend. Stay safe, and I will see you in the next one.